A couple of years ago, I made an active decision to completely stop going to any public events. And the reason for it is because it feels like every time they just become worse and worse and worse. And TwitchCon happened this past weekend, and it is a prime example of that. Somebody did essentially what I did and just kind of watched everything shatter in its place while they're, safe and tucked away at home, and dropped a super long Twitter thread about all the stuff that happened at TwitchCon, but there's a handful of stuff I want to talk about in particular, this being the big one. I want to go ahead and warn anybody that if you're sensitive to like people getting hurt, maybe you want to just close your eyes for a couple seconds here. But basically, Lenovo had this foam pit, right? They had this sort of gladiator type game where you're on these two platforms and you hit somebody off and they fall in the foam pit and you win, and woo, good time. The only issue, I don't know if you can see down here in the corner, this foam pit, not very deep, maybe a foot if I had to guess. If you've ever been to a trampoline park, these foam pits are usually like 3, 4, 5 feet deep, if not more. And so this girl, Adriana, I believe her name is, probably thought the same thing and ended up doing this. Now, I don't know if you caught that. She bounced, not off the foam, off of the concrete right onto her tailbone. Inevitably, and unfortunately, breaking her back in 2 different places. Now, I don't know if anybody who watches these videos has ever injured their back before, but it is like a massive, massive deal. Like, breaking your back in multiple places is a life-changing injury. Like, if you ever even just bruised your back at any point in time, like just sitting in a chair becomes a really, really uncomfortable experience. And this is a life-changing injury for her, and unfortunately she's not the only one. This guy was doing like a keep the balloon off the ground sort of situation, and also managed to break his ankle in all 3 ways that you're able to break an ankle, which is nuts to me. Now, there's a lot of conversation right now about whether or not Adriana is gonna be able to like sue anybody for this, because like I said, this is a massive, massive injury. Now, there's 2 sort of camps that people are thinking of right now. People are thinking that she won't be able to go after Twitch because they didn't run the booth. And people are thinking that she's not going to be able to go after Lenovo because they signed like a liability waiver before they went in the pit. But I just can't imagine a reality where somebody is not held liable due to negligence in this situation, whether it be Twitch or Lenovo, either way. Get well soon, Adriana. I hope that you are able to collect the bag, because goddamn, you deserve it. But other things that were, less, damaging necessarily, were people just being weird. People going and stealing George Not Found's water bottle, which is really just bizarre and weird. And like, don't do that. It's you're, I don't know. It just makes me uncomfortable. And then this is even worse. People wearing like Dream SMP, like just looking at a lot of this stuff makes me really uncomfortable. And it's like, just don't do that, man. Stop it. The Dream SMP and that whole group, they had a lot of drama kind of in and of themselves during TwitchCon, because last year, as far as I understand, let me see if I can pull this up properly. Apparently, this is what the crowd looked like the last time that the Dream SMP had a TwitchCon panel. And apparently, it was much smaller scale this time around. And I don't know what Twitch was thinking. Maybe they just didn't have the heads up. But like, just after the guy who made the Dream SMP does a face reveal that makes him national fucking news, and I just can't imagine what they were thinking when they put this whole thing together. It feels a little foolish to me. That's not the only thing that the Twitch staff got wrong, though. They also managed to misgender this streamer, Amesy, by using she, her pronouns when they identify as all of the pronouns, as far as I understand. And when Twitch was made aware of this error, this little bug, this little mishap that they made, they didn't respond by, updating her pronouns at all. They instead started banning people and deleting messages from their official chat room in classic, beautiful Twitch fashion. You just love to see it. There was also a lot of concerns about like the queues, and it seems like security was just kind of all over the place in terms of what they were enforcing and who they were enforcing it to. I also managed to see a clip that basically where a woman was talking about just how verbally abusive a lot of the attendees were, which makes sense. Twitch users, and I guess people on the internet as a whole, aren't necessarily known for having the most well-established social skills, but it's just still a goddamn shame to hear, man. Those guys are here so that you are allowed to have a good time. And for people to just verbally abuse the hell out of them is so messed up, man. People also very upset because Call Me Carson was in appearance. You know, you don't love to see that. This kind of got blown under the radar for me, but also I completely forgot that Twitch booked Megan Thee Stallion to go to this event, which people were pissed off about. The only good thing that came out of that side of things is the fact that we now have this clip of Megan Thee Stallion twerking on Master Chief. Very classy. Love it. This photo also managed to go relatively viral with 80,000 likes on Twitter. People got really baited on this one because this is a sign that they actually put out the day before TwitchCon officially started on Thursday, when they were allowing for partners to come in and sort of view the floor. And people just kind of ran with this idea that you weren't allowed to stream at TwitchCon, when in reality, that was not the case whatsoever. Overall, it was just a pretty fucking miserable event. I mean, so much stuff went wrong, and I feel like this might just be the beginning of the end, because I feel like Twitch's days themselves are already numbered because of how they're taking the platform. And I can't help but feel like the convention side of Twitch probably not going to last much longer after this either.